Everybody, thank you for coming. I apologize, I have to run right after I'm finished talking because I have a meeting downtown. But please feel free if you have any further questions or interest, come by and see me in my office. So we have a 4-week program in China. 2 weeks, I'm not going to tell you any of the stuff that you can find out from the brochure, but 2 weeks in Beijing, 2 weeks in Shanghai. Each one is at a different law school. In fact, the dean of the Shanghai Law School was here to see me yesterday because we have a very good relationship with them, and they are very interested in doing everything for our students. And in fact, the dean of the law school in Beijing is coming to see me next week, as is Professor Qin from that law school, who is kind of my assistant over there. And she's going to be here for 3 weeks teaching a course in Introduction to Chinese law and legal systems, which you may or may not be interested in, but she will be here starting next week for 3 weeks. So it's 2 weeks in both places. You can take one, you can take the other. It makes sense to me for people to take both. The first one is just to give you a basic familiarity with Chinese law. We have a variety of professors, each doing 1 day on Chinese this law and that law, environmental law, IP, admiralty, blah, 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 blah. Shanghai, because it's the financial center of China and frankly of all of the East. It's all about international business, and all the courses relate to international business and trade and those sorts of things. The best thing about this is it's taught all by Chinese law professors or lawyers in English. Their English is excellent. The materials are all in English. They've been doing this for a long time. I've handpicked every single teacher. They're all people who have taught many times in English before, and now they've taught for me last year, and they're going to teach again. We have trips that are part of the deal. We'll go to the Great Wall. We'll go to the Forbidden City. We'll go to the stock market in Shanghai. You will meet judges. You'll go to courthouses. You'll meet lawyers. I'll bring you to law firms. It's a great opportunity to see how the system works, to meet people there. I have lots of connections. We offer internships in either place before or after the session, at law firms, at the International Arbitration Organization of China, governmental entities. We have lots of opportunities. It gives you an unparalleled opportunity to be in China, to get exposed to what's going on over there, to learn a little bit, and to make contacts with lawyers, with judges, with professors. One of my former students moved to China years ago. He's a very rich guy, make up $1 gajillion in Beijing and the telecommunications thing. Now he just kind of counts his money, but he loves Tulane. He was a student of mine. Let's just say I had a lot of blonde hair at that time, so it was quite a long time ago. Don Lewis wasn't even born at that time. Professor Larson was, but he was still younger than he is now. And he takes us around, takes us to bars, because he knows, he's taken me all kinds of places. He loves to be with the students. He'll teach a class about practicing law in China, how Americans can do it. It's just a great, great opportunity. And I think the students had a lot of fun. But there's one of them right there. There's Amanda Austin, who's a professional summer school goer. She's been with me in Rio de Janeiro, and despite the fact that I was involved, came to China. And she can tell you a little bit. She's in class now. She came just for a couple minutes. But before I let her speak, because I got to run, there's a quick question somebody wants to ask me. I'm happy to answer it. All the information about the classes, the dates, and all that. It's July. It's 4 weeks in July. Okay, but this year we're also offering internships before in June and after in August. Amanda?
My name is Amanda Austin. I'm a JD MBA in my very last semester, so it's kind of nice that I get to leave just for a couple of minutes to encourage all of you to consider the Summer Study Abroad program in China, because Professor Crawford's in the back. I also did Rio and Cuba and Panama with him, but I'm just here to speak about China. I think it's a unique opportunity at Tulane to have the chance to go someplace abroad, to be fully immersed, as well as learning the law. Again, since I am a JD MBA and I have an interest both in law and business, China fit really well for me in terms of the summer schedule, right? July worked pretty nicely. I was able to do some things before leaving for China in terms of internships, and then I was able to go and have classes. Obviously, China is a major business country country, and it was important for me to spend time there to learn about Chinese law and to be really engaged. As Professor Friedman said, it's in Beijing and Shanghai. For me, I loved Shanghai. That was, just my speed.
Not because of the shopping.
Oh, no, not because of the shopping. Absolutely because of the shopping.
Shanghai is like Rome, New York, London combined, multiplied by 1,000.
Yes. And I had been in Beijing for 2 weeks, so I was, getting a little, skinny to fit in all those clothes. So I was absolutely excited. However, Beijing, though, still was a very interesting experience. I enjoyed the professors, who I felt were very well versed, and sometimes they may not be able to speak fully because it is, the Chinese Communist Party. But I felt like the time that they took in class and outside of class to engage us in the material was very worthwhile. We had great program assistants that still keep in touch, and like Professor Friedman touched on, the cultural activities, going to the Great Wall. I felt like we're matched very well with our actual course materials.
The ballet?
The ballet, yes. We did a number of things, and then also I think it's an opportunity to really meet some of your classmates, and an opportunity in a space that isn't quite law school, right? So as a JD MBA, all my friends left me last year, and so I came starting this year like, all right, I know no one, but the benefit of the China program and the benefit of being with students for 30 days in a different country and everyone is experiencing something different at the same time gives you an opportunity to learn people outside of beginner status, you get to know people, I think, on a greater level, and I was happy to return to the States, sit in intellectual property, and sit literally in a row of people that I had taken the program with, and so I was happy to come back and have 3 new friends that I experienced China with, studied with in China, and then also returned to the States. So again, I encourage you. I think all the programs are great, but I can only speak to China and Rio, and because these 2 professors right here, I will not say which one is my favorite one, although someone has encouraged me to do so. But I have. But all that to say, I've had some of the greatest experiences at Tulane through the study abroad programs. Again, Rio, China, Panama, and Cuba, that for me is where I've really grown to love law school. And I know that sounds really, really weird, but that's, I think, just has been some of the best experiences imaginable. So if you have any questions, if you have any concerns about financial aid, I can also tell you all about that. And I'm happy to help. And you'll see me around. I'm also Alexa Stuff, so you can find me upstairs on the 4th floor celebrating that this is my last semester.
Hey, let me just add one thing. I have taught in the Rio program. I taught in and directed the France program. I taught and directed the Greece program. All of these programs are great. You won't find a better program than what Professor Crawford has or what Professor Palmer has in Paris. You won't. They're great. They're academically great. All the other stuff is great. It's really a question of where you want to go and the focus, because the Paris program does a particular thing, and the Rio program does a particular thing, and the China program does a particular thing, and the other programs do. You can't make a mistake, really. There's no best. They're all great. And I've been there, so I can tell you. But I really would urge you to think about it, because speaking now just for myself in China, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for you to do something you otherwise would never get a chance to do. And you'd be amazed how many law firms want people who know something about China, because everybody wants to do business in China, right?
And I guess my last point, and then I'll head out. So on my LinkedIn profile, right, I have the different universities that I've visited, because I've had professors there, and I got a message from a Citibank representative that was a friend of a friend. So she's like, yeah, this message is legit, inviting me to apply for their management program, right?
Right.
So I got really excited. Yeah, And again, I was like, this is what LinkedIn is for, right? Got really excited. I got to the language part, and you have to know either Spanish or Portuguese. You started to combine those. And for me, my language is not there. But I still felt like it was representative of the fact that I've done this work. I've paid the expense. I've invested in my education abroad, and that's still an opportunity that I just need to, that I can seize once I really speed up on my language abilities. So I just encourage all of you to definitely consider the programs, and also consider the relationships that you have built throughout. Professor Friedman and Professor Crawford, I know very well, and they know me very well, because I've spent quality time, shopping and and eating with them and studying and learning from them as well. So, good to go.
Okay, thank you all very much.